students, good morning. Welcome to our chemistry online class. In the last class we discussed about various things, right? Are you remember what are the things we discussed in the last class? Volume percentage, then mass percentage, concentration of solution, lot of things we discussed, right? And main thing there, hydrated salt. Hydrated salt is very important one. In this hydrated salt, we studied some hydrated salt name also, right? Their molecular formula, IUPAC names we studied. The main thing, two topics we discussed, right? What are the topics we discussed under that hydrated salt? Magnesium sulfate heptahydrate and calcium sulfate pentahydrate. This two is very important one. Okay. And today we are going to discuss about deliquescence and hygroscopic substance. Okay, hygroscopic substance and deliquescence. Hygroscopic substance and deliquescence substance. Mostly these two topics contain same meanings. Hygroscopics and deliquescence means it will absorb the moisture. Okay, absorb the moisture. So first we are going to discuss about the hygroscopic substance. Okay, we can study the hygroscopic substance. So hygroscopic substance means certain substance absorb the water, certain substance, that means when exposed to air, certain substance when exposed to air, that means when react with the air, it will absorb the moisture. Air contains lot of gaseous mixture, right? So certain substance in the sense you can think some salt, okay, calcium chloride salt, sulfuric acid salt, any one salt you can think it, okay. So this certain substance when exposed to moist air at ordinary temperature, it will absorb the moisture from the atmospheric air. It will absorb the moisture without changing their physical state, okay. So hygroscopic substance means what? When exposed to moist air, certain substance when exposed to moist air at ordinary temperature, it will absorb the moisture. Absorb moisture, this word is very important. Absorb moisture. It will absorb moisture without changing their physical state. It does not change their physical state. That means it does not change their shape. It will absorb the moisture, but that salt does not change their shape. If crystalline means it will be present in crystalline only. Okay, solid means it will, that amorphous means that will present in a amorphous. Amorphous means what is meant by amorphous? In the last class we discussed. That is a powdered form. That is in a powder form, drying substance. So what is hygroscopic? Have you understood the definition? So don't confused about this hygroscopic substance. So hygroscopic substance means when when exposed to moist air, certain substance when exposed to moist air at ordinary temperature, it will absorb the moisture. It will absorb the moisture without changing their physical state. It will not change their physical state. It will absorb the moisture. Okay. Then this hygroscopic substance mostly used as a drying agent. Okay. Some example here we are going to learn. Example for this hygroscopic substance, concentrated sulfuric acid H2SO4. Sulfuric acid formula H2SO4. Sulfuric acid is a salt, right? So concentrated sulfuric acid, then quicklime, calcium oxide, okay, quicklime. Okay, then phosphorus pentoxide formula P2O5. Okay, phosphorus pentoxide. Then silica gel is used in a silica gel. Then anhydrous means drying form. Okay, anhydrous calcium chloride salt. So these are the example for hygroscopic substance. What is hygroscopic substance? Certain substance when exposed to moist air, it absorbs moisture without changing their physical state. This hygroscopic substance are used as a drying agent. Example for hygroscopic substance: concentrated sulfuric acid, quicklime formula CaO, calcium oxide. Then phosphorus pentoxide, silica gel, anhydrous calcium chloride. These are the example for hygroscopic substance. Then next we are going to discuss about deliquescent substance. So deliquescence and this hygroscopic both are same meaning only, absorb the moisture, but small change is there. Deliquescent substance. Deliquescent substance means, listen, when absorb the moist air, certain substance when absorb the moist air at ordinary temperature, it absorb the moisture, it absorb enough water. Okay, in this hygroscopic substance, it absorb whole water, right? But this deliquescent substance, it absorb enough water. It absorb enough water. It absorb enough water and change their physical state. It will change their physical state. So only one small change, physical state. Change their physical state. But there in this hygroscopic substance, it does not change their physical state. This deliquescent substance, it will change their physical state. And this deliquescent substance mostly used in mostly to form a saturated substance. It is in a crystalline form. Mostly it is present in this deliquescent substance. Mostly it is present in a crystalline form. Have you understood this deliquescent substance? So deliquescent substance means when a certain substance when exposed to moist air at ordinary temperature, it absorbs enough water. It absorbs enough water and change their physical state. Have you understood? An example for this deliquescent substance. In hygroscopic substance, last one example we studied, no, anhydrous calcium chloride. Here calcium chloride, only calcium chloride, not anhydrous. That means not in a powder form. Okay, so some water it absorbs. So calcium, solid calcium chloride. Okay, calcium chloride. Then sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide and ferric chloride. Fe3. Ferric chloride. What are the examples for deliquescent substance? Calcium chloride, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide and ferric chloride. Okay, in this deliquescent substance, mostly when it was deliquescent, what are the conditions need to form a deliquescent substance? Means maximum the temperature is low. If the temperature is low, if the salt temperature is low, means it will absorb enough water and change their physical state. Okay, so first condition, temperature is low, and second condition, atmosphere is humid. Must want their atmosphere is humid. Okay, wet condition. The wet condition, it will form a deliquescence. Have you understood? So next we are going to study about the difference between hygroscopic and deliquescent substance. So from this points itself you can write the difference. So what is the first difference studied under the hygroscopic substance? That is it absorbs when exposed to moist air, it absorbs the moisture without changing their physical state. Okay, without changing their physical state. That is the first point. Then second point, it absorbs enough water to change their physical state. Okay, deliquescence first step. First point, it absorbs enough water to change their physical state. But the hygroscopic substance, hygroscopic and deliquescence. So hygroscopic first point what we studied, absorb moisture without changing, do not change their physical state. do not change their physical state. But here it will change their physical state. It will change their physical state. Then second point, this hygroscopic substance do not change its physical state, and it will form a amorphous solid or liquid. Okay, amorphous, this hygroscopic substance or amorphous solid or liquid. In this deliquescent substance or crystalline solid. So here 2 points we studied. First we studied do not change their physical state. Here it will change their physical state. Then next point, this hygroscopic substance are amorphous solid or liquid. This deliquescent substance are crystalline solid. One more point is that already we discussed about this point. I think that is the first point. Okay, sorry, that is the first point. Already we discussed about this hygroscopic and deliquescence. What is the first point? When exposed to moist air, it's absorb. This hygroscopic, what we studied, absorb moisture without change their physical state. So absorb moisture enough. Okay, so here the first point, when this hygroscopic substance absorb moisture, here deliquescent substance absorb enough water. This is the first point. Then second point, do not change their physical state, it will change their physical state. Here third point, it is a amorphous solid or liquid. Here it is a crystalline solid. Have you understood? Then next we are going to discuss about some problems about this lesson. So problems very important. Mostly 7 mark questions they will ask the problems from chemistry. Okay. So listen carefully. Problems very easy only. So see the first question. 1.5 gram of solute is dissolved in 50 gram of water. 1.5 gram of solute is dissolved in 50 gram of water at 298 Kelvin. Find the solubility of the solute. So here how much gram of solute is given? Solute means anyone salt, right? So how much gram of solute is given in the question? 1.5 gram of solute. And solvent, how much given? Solvent, liquid, right? Water. So 50 gram of water. So solute is dissolved in solvent. We all know that, right? So this 1.5 gram of solute is dissolved in 50 gram of water. At 298 Kelvin, find out the solubility of the solute. Shortly I returned the question. Okay, if you need to read the question in the sense, you can open your book. Page number 131, question is given. Okay, please check it. So listen now. Now listen here. So what we need to find out from this question? Find the solubility of the solute. So to find out the solubility, we have one formula, right? In the previous class we studied about the formula, some formulas we studied. So mass percentage formula we studied, volume percentage formula we studied in the last class, right? So before class we studied about this solubility formula. So what is solubility formula? Solubility is equal to, what is solubility? Mass of solute divided by mass of solvent or solution, solvent, right? So don't confuse. So mass, this solubility formula, mass of solute by solvent into 100. And mass percentage, volume percentage, what we studied? Mass of solute, volume of solute divided by what? Mass of solution, not solvent, solution, their volume of solution into 100. This is the only one small change, right? So now we need a solubility formula, right? So find the solubility of the solute. So what is solubility formula? Solubility is equal to, first step we need to write the formula, right? So solubility is equal to, what is the formula? Mass of the solute, divided by mass of solvent. into 100. So solubility formula, mass of solute by mass of solvent into 100. So here mass means that's weight, right? So how much gram of solute is given? 1.5. So 1.5 gram of solute is given. So we can apply the values here. So mass of solute how much? 1.5 divided by mass of solvent. Mass of solvent how much? 50 gram of water, right? So 50 gram of water, this water is taken as a solvent, right? So 50 gram. Mass of solvent 50. Sorry, one small change in the question. Page number 131, please check the question. 1.5 gram of solute is dissolved in 15 gram of water. Not 50, 15 gram of water. 1.5. So mass of solvent 15, 1.5 into 100. Okay. First we need to remove this decimal, right? So we can multiply with, so that we are going to multiply with into 10, right? Both sides we are going to multiply with 10. So we will get 15 divided by 150 into 100. Okay, 15 divided by 150 into 100. 10. 1, 10. Okay, we will get the answer 10 gram. Have you understood? So what is the solubility of the solute? 10 gram. Okay, solubility of the solute is 10 gram. Have you understood? So find out the solubility means first we need to apply the solubility formula. So solubility is equal to, we need to write the solubility formula. So solubility formula, solubility is equal to mass of solute divided by mass of solvent into 100, and solute value 1.5 divided by solvent value 15 gram. Okay, solvent value 15 gram into this 100. Okay, we need to remove this decimal, so we are going to multiply with both sides, we are going to multiply with 10. When we are multiplying with 10, this decimal will remove, we will get 15, right? So 15 divided by 150. So we can cancel, we will get the answer 10 gram. Have you understood? Then next we are going to study next problem. Find the mass of calcium chloride. Find the mass of KCl means calcium chloride. Shortly I written the question, okay? So potassium chloride. Find the mass of potassium chloride would be needed to form a saturated solution in 60 gram of water at 303 Kelvin. Given the solubility of potassium chloride. Actually, this 100 gram of water can dissolve 37 gram of potassium chloride. On that day we studied some saturated values, right? So 100 gram of water can dissolve 37 gram of potassium chloride. If you are taking common salt, sodium chloride means 100 gram of water can dissolve 36 gram of sodium chloride. Here 100 gram of water can dissolve 37 gram of potassium chloride. Okay. So what we need to find out, find the mass of potassium chloride. So we need to find the mass of potassium chloride, right? So 100 gram of water can dissolve 37 gram of potassium chloride means, therefore how much gram of potassium chloride can dissolve in 60 gram of water. Okay, how much gram of potassium? 100 gram of water can dissolve 36 gram of potassium chloride means how much gram of potassium chloride can dissolve in 60 gram of water. Okay, so what is the here we no need to mention the formulas, right? Simply we can find out. So the mass of potassium chloride would be needed to form a saturated solution. Would be needed to form a saturated solution is equal to, we need to write here, this meth form. Okay, the mass of potassium chloride would be needed to form a saturated solution. Okay, is equal to 37 divided by 100. Therefore, 60 gram of water can dissolve how much gram of potassium chloride. Have you understood? Here you no need to mention any formulas. Simply we are going to find out 100 gram of water can dissolve 37 gram of potassium chloride, means 60 gram of water can dissolve how much gram of potassium chloride. That only we are going to find out. Okay. So simply you can write these values and you can find out. So 6 here, what will come? 10, right? So 3 2s are 6, 5 2s are 10. Into this 3. 9, 10, 11. So 111 divided by 5, right? 2 5s are 10, balance 1, then 2 5s are 10, balance 1, 1 point, add 1 0 here, 2 5s are 10. So the answer, what is the answer? 22.2 gram. So the final you should write this line, 22.2 gram of potassium chloride is needed to form a saturated solution at 60 gram of water. Have you understood? So 100 gram of water can dissolve 37 gram of potassium chloride, means 60 gram of water can dissolve how much gram of potassium chloride? Okay, how much gram of potassium chloride? 22.2 gram of potassium chloride. Have you understood the second problem? Then third one also same as this one only. Okay, same as this problem. So what is the mass of sodium chloride? That instead of this potassium chloride, here we are using sodium chloride. Okay, so what is the mass of sodium chloride that would be needed to form a saturated solution in 50 gram of water at 30 degrees Celsius? Solubility of NaCl is 36 gram at 30 degrees Celsius. 30 degrees Celsius means that is the room temperature. So at in 36 gram at 100 gram of water. Okay, so listen here. 100 gram of water can dissolve 36 gram of sodium chloride salt. Okay, this is common, we all know that, right? 100 gram of water can, in the 1 mark question also they will ask this one. So 100 gram of water can dissolve how much gram of sodium chloride? How much gram of sodium chloride? 36 gram. Okay, 100 gram of water can dissolve 36 gram of sodium chloride, means 50 gram of water can dissolve how much gram of sodium chloride? So 100 gram of water can dissolve 36 gram of sodium chloride. Therefore, 50 gram of water can dissolve how much gram of sodium chloride? This one only we are going to find out. Because what we need to find out here, what is the mass of sodium chloride? Okay, sodium chloride would be needed to form a saturated solution. Okay, we can cancel. Right? What is the answer? 18 gram. Okay, 18 gram of sodium chloride is needed to form a saturated solution in 50 gram of water. This is the answer. Have you understood? So what are the things we studied in this class? Deliquescence, hygroscopics and difference we studied, right? Difference, then these 3 problems, right? So what is deliquescence and hygroscopic? Hygroscopic means when exposed to moist air, absorb the moisture without changing their physical state at ordinary temperature. But deliquescence means when exposed to moist air, absorb enough water does not change their physical state. Without changing their physical state, it absorb enough water, right? Then next we studied these three problems. First one, solubility. So solubility formula, mass of solute divided by mass of solvent into 100. And these two problems, if 100 gram of water can dissolve 37 gram of salt, means 60 gram of water can dissolve how much gram of salt, right? So we need to take as 37 divided by 100 into 60. Here also like that only. 100 gram of water can dissolve 36 gram of sodium chloride, means 50 gram of water can dissolve how much gram of sodium chloride. That only we need to find out. Now all of you take your book. Page number 135. Page number 135, long answer. Fourth question, in what way hygroscopic substance differ from deliquescent substance? This is the question. Answer, page number 131. Page number 131, this table fully mark it. Table fully. Then this problem, note it. Problem, first three problems, okay? Study the formulas, everything, study well. And you write this problem in your note also, okay? This is homework for you. Write these three problems in your note. Okay, thank you.